Okay, so it's raining right now, but I have to finish filming this part of the video right now, so that's how it's gonna be. So I just want to preface this video by saying that this video is gonna be a long one, so I want you to treat this video like it's an episode from a series that you might be watching and watch this video till the end because the journey is quite exciting and I don't want you to miss it. So since I'm a hybrid shooter who shoots both photos and videos, I wanted to add the photos that I've shot on this trip in this video so you get to experience the journey vicariously through all the mediums of content, that is photo, video and aerial visuals, with the goal of making you feel as if you were there on that trail and experiencing it yourself. Hey everyone, welcome to Manali for a brand new video. This video is gonna be a special one because A, this is my first solo backpacking trip ever, and B, because I'm gonna be hiking the Hampta Pass Trail starting tomorrow for the next 6 days and gonna be making a video about it like I'm doing this now. This is the video that you're watching. So that should be fun. So this video is gonna be much longer than the videos that I usually make. So just sit back, relax and enjoy this one. I'm sure you're gonna love it. You ready for this? Cool, let's do this. So today was just a travel day to reach Manali, which is the base camp for the Hampta Pass trek. And it was a very tiring journey to reach here. So I woke up at 2 a.m. to catch a 6 a.m. flight from Mumbai to Chandigarh. The flight landed in Chandigarh at 8:20. Then I had a 9-hour drive from Chandigarh to Manali, which I started at 9 a.m. and I reached Manali at 5:30 and now it is 6:30 and I'm making this video. Just calm and cozy as of now. Just relaxing for now. It was a very tiring journey, but I'm glad that I made it well before time than I expected to reach here, which is obviously good. Also, the roads to get here was so awful. So much dust all around. I mean, look at me. My hair has dust all over it. My body is covered in dust. So I'm gonna pack my rucksack for tomorrow's trek, have a bath, get freshened up, and just relax for the day since I've had a very long travel day today. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow when the actual trek starts. Bye bye. Good morning from a drizzling Manali. It's been raining since morning and it has reduced as of now, but it is still drizzling, so not the greatest start, but I expected it, so I can't do anything about it. I've got my bags packed. I just have to put some random things in it. So as you know that I'm hiking the Hampta Pass Trail with an India Hikes group, so their meeting point or the base camp for that is just 2-minute walk from here, where we have to do the registration stuff and meet other people, and then we're gonna have lunch there. So it's a 45-minute drive from Manali to Jobra, and then it's a 1.5 kilometer hike for the day. And then we are gonna camp at Jobra base camp, so that should be fun. So I'm gonna go get ready now and leave this place.
Your shoe, put your laces in and slip on your shoe like a normal slip. Cool? So, this is a trek ball.
Horses grazing outside our tents. This was the first view I saw as I woke up on day 2 and unzipped my tent.
You have to go and check.
Meet Blackie, the dog from Jobra campsite. You are gonna see so many dogs in this video. Here's Blackie admiring the views. He followed us for quite a while on the trek that day. After finishing 90% of our trek that day, we approached our first river crossing. It was indeed quite exciting.
Hi Amulya! How are you?
The face is worth What is so hot here? Huh?
Nicole, how are you? Good. Look at all the face.
So, we just did the river crossing and it was totally brutal. My feet are almost numb. The water was up till the knee and it was just glacial cold water, so it was tough. Today's day was actually tough, but we are almost done. Look at my feet are almost numb. What an experience, man. Beautiful experience. Hi, good morning from a beautiful day 3 at the Jwara campsite, and it is 7 in the morning, just enjoying my hot cup of tea. The beautiful background, a horse in the background as well. It's a beautiful, quaint campsite. I didn't get to shoot much for the last 2 days, I mean at the first campsite, at the Jobra campsite, because yesterday in the morning it was raining, so I didn't get to take my camera out at all. and after that we had to start the hike. So in the hike I couldn't take off my camera and shoot for a long period of time. But yeah, yesterday was quite a moderate to difficult hike. We also had a river crossing which was absolutely freezing cold. It was cold to the point where I couldn't even feel my feet, and the water was up to my knee level. So it was, yeah, brutally cold. But yeah, after that, in the afternoon, we made it to the Jwara campsite, and we all were just so tired that we just decided to rest and just play games. So that was the end of yesterday. We just played games for the entire day, which felt good. Today we are going from Jwara, which is at 11,000 feet, to Balukagera, which is at around 12,400 feet. So about 1,400 feet of elevation gain today. Same distance as yesterday, but it should seem like today's day should be easier than yesterday's. So let's hope for that. And yeah, just enjoy the views from this place as I enjoy my morning cup of tea on this beautiful location. There was something different in that moment, with slight drizzling rain in the mountains and that fresh air. It felt so liberating being away from the crowd and being surrounded by the remote Himalayan mountains. It's been raining since the morning, and we stopped at a dhaba just to cool down, having a coffee. So I hope that charges me up, and we have almost like another 2 kilometers to go. So yeah, after that we'll be reaching at Balukagera. So yeah, I'll enjoy my coffee as of now. Also, we are given laddus, so it is a nice addition to the coffee.
For you, guys.
Yeah. One.
Yeah, give me another. We reached Balukagera campsite after an hour with completely drenched socks and shoes. But luckily the sun had come out.
Rahul, what's up? Rahul is so passionate.
The campsite was moved downwards because a week ago it rained heavily, which caused landslides, and the kitchen tent of the original campsite was swept away. So after lunch, our trek leader and 7 others hiked for about 15 minutes, and we played frisbee near the original Balukagera campsite. Balukagera means siege of sand. You can see why this place is called as the Siege of Sand. After playing frisbee for about 2 hours, we returned back to our camp for evening tea and snacks. Some beautiful music elevated that experience. We had multiple steep ascents, some unseen textures of rocks, as well as some ridgeline walking. As we neared the Hampta Pass, it felt like as if we were the hobbits walking through the lands of Mordor. And we finally made it to the top. Unfortunately, it was totally covered in fog. We took photos at the top, even with our local guides Mahinderji, Shamji and our trek leader Rishi. And then our way down was intercepted by a huge flock of goats and sheep. Isn't that the cutest smiling goat? It was obviously a traffic jam up there. These were the first views of descending down into the Lahore Valley from the Kulu Valley via the Hampta Pass, and there's a stark difference in the type of landscape. We moved from the evergreen valley into the rain shadow region. Now that's a lunch with a view. Finally, after about 9 hours of hiking, we made it to the Shia Guru campsite at 4 p.m. and I was greeted by more dogs.
Okay, side lunges. For a count of 5. Spread your legs. Go down. 1,
So it was extremely windy the previous night at Shiagoru, and then the weather cleared up at night and I shot some astro images. But in the night it started raining like crazy at 1 a.m. and by 3:30 in the morning the water had seeped inside our tent from the bottom near our legs. And by 4:30 in the morning the bottom half of my sleeping bag was completely wet. So what I did was I got out of my sleeping bag and slept on top of the sleeping bag for about an hour or so. But obviously I couldn't sleep properly in that last 1 hour, and I woke up at 5:30 only to see that almost all the tents had leaked from the bottom except one. And yeah, it was a brutal morning. We then got comms from the Balukagera campsite that the previous team that was before us couldn't start their pass crossing day because of the heavy rains, and they had to be stationed there. And every other team before that Balukagera team had to be stationed at their campsite only, so they couldn't move forward that day. And we were extremely lucky that we had done the pass crossing the previous day and we had the green signal to move forward and continue our trek as it was planned. The first thing on day 5 was a second river crossing. I decided to fly my drone and shoot the river crossing from the air. But that meant that I couldn't cross the river with the team since I was piloting the drone. So I later crossed it with Mahendaji, our local guide. It was my hero shot, just the two of us crossing that huge freezing river. And since it was just the two of us, we crossed it very quickly, which meant spending less time walking in that freezing cold river. Also, everyone else was cheering for us from the other side, which was so beautiful.
Wow!
Wow. Great.
Well done. Babu. Run. Keep running. Round. Once more.
One.
Currently, I'm descending down from the Shiaguru campsite to Chatru campsite, and I can already see the campsite just in front of me, but it'll take around like an hour or so to walk down and actually get there. But the view here is so amazing that I couldn't help but just sit down and just appreciate it. I mean, look at this view. How can you not sit and just watch this view? I feel like sitting here for hours. Half of the team is up, half of the team is on the way down, and I'm just in the between, just sitting here and admiring the views. What a wonderful day it has been so far. Lovely. That right there is our campsite for tonight. Yeah, that is the campsite. There's the river. These are the mountains. What a wonderful place, man. What a wonderful place. You would have found me always making dog friends on this trek. Also, I just met our trek leader Rishi 5 days ago, and what an amazing person he is. We made it to the Chatru village where we had our last campsite and saw the first signs of civilization in 5 days. And as usual, I was escorted by a dog to our campsite. Also, it seems like this is the same dog from the previous campsite who might have followed us all the way here. We spent the afternoon at the campsite, but we had a situation to tackle. There were 2 fresh landslides on the way from Manali to Chatru, which meant that cars couldn't come to pick us up at the campsite, and we had to solve that problem.
We'll have to do that. We won't get a cloakroom luggage.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
The vehicles are over there.
So we'll get it there, right?
They'll bring it.
The vehicles are reached that point over there? No.
No, no.
Not our vehicle, another vehicle has reached.
People at our base, our support staff, they would have known that there's a landslide over there. So they would be awaiting communication from our side. So that is what we, Shyamji and Mahendraji have gone to do.
Okay. Establish contact.
Yes. On the ambulance, they have gone to wherever the signal is there, call the responsible person, and tell them tomorrow the vehicle is supposed to come.
Okay.
The first landslide you can see. The second also you can see, but the second from here is a very small, looks smaller. but actually if you, they both were there, so the amount of debris it has brought down, it has sort of pushed the river to the side. And the flow is now trying to
go from the other side.
The landslides have happened now. In the night, it can happen more also, maybe, right?
maybe.
From past 5 days, we have seen that in the night we have
heavy rains, yes.
heavy rains.
But
I don't think it's going to rain. If it rains,
If
then
it rains, it's
right.
right.
But
If that's
not
the
likely.
case.
Second thing, we have to cross the river, right?
You guys cross the rivers?
Yeah.
To cross the river, so length. Oh, you also cross the river. And you just walk through. Did you remove your
Stream.
I did. Okay. It's still wet. Okay. So tentatively we are aiming for 9:30 to 10:30 के बीच में. But once Shyamji and Mahendraji return after the call, they'll be able to inform us about it.
Depending on when the vehicles are coming.
ठीक है जी? Any questions?
Nothing.
So you guys went over the two and you came back. Okay.
For us to reach that place is 45 minutes.
45
More than that.
Not 1 hour.
Half an
With
hour.
With luggage.
maybe a
45
conservative
minutes to 1
estimate,
hour.
45 minutes to 1 hour. Yes.
And it's doable, right? From what we have done.
It is very doable. Most of
That's
the
the main
road
thing.
is on this road only. Most of the route is on.
So river crossing is also doable with all the bags and for the people who have heavy bags.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, so far the weather god has been good. So tomorrow also will be good.
He'll be good. Yeah.
Fingers
He'll be
crossed.
the best.
Yeah. So for the best. Yeah. सुन के अच्छा लग रहा है.
The God has always been good to us.
So let us relax today.
Yeah.
Let us relax tonight. Yeah. कल देख लेंगे.
Thanks, Rishi. Thanks for the update. Thanks, guys.
Dev, chalo. We have some some entertainment.
देव उठा के लेके जाएंगे रहते.
It was a final night and celebrations were in order.
You think I would, after doing it 4 times, I would not find anything new, but it's always something new. Everything new actually.
I think for you it's not the trek.
Everything is an experience.
Yeah.
For him it's not the trek. I mean he has done Hampta Pass like 4-6 times. What is it for him?
People
basically.
I think you or someone. Hampta Pass does not look that great. I mean, frankly speaking, until you turn and you see this is Hampta Pass, you don't even know this is Hampta Pass.
It's pretty ugly. It looks like a rock. Come on.
But then, what we enjoy is the entire thing.
Journey, the people.
A trek leader then gave us fridge magnets as a souvenir, and I still remember that moment bright as day in my mind.
Thanks a lot. We have a small token of gift from all of us here.
See, we wanted to get you something.
But you don't open it. You don't open it till we are done. You
2
leave.
days, no?
Yeah,
2 days. Okay.
You don't
this
open it.
after 2 days.
What is inside?
We are not going to tell you that.
Tell you.
It's something we have made.
And you're on the group, no? You're on the group, no?
So I'll take a photo and send.
Yes, you do that.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. ठीक है.
Okay.
But
Make the
you
use of
promise, okay, you are not going
Make
to
the
open it
use
for
of
me.
it. Make the best use of it. We all love you, bro.
After 2 days.
And also
Yes.
that envelope
Was made
from rice.
Handmade.
Okay?
Stuck with rice. Stuck with rice.
Love you, man.
The calligraphy also.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very pretty.
We even had a celebratory cake after the dinner. In the morning, I decided to take one final photo with our local guides, and then this happened. They picked me up. Today is the last day of the Hampta Pass trek, and we were stationed at the Chhatru campsite last night. And today, a car was supposed to come pick us up at the camp and take some of us to Chandratal Lake and some of us back to Manali, depending on who wanted to visit there. But last night, 2 landslides happened on the way from Manali to Chhatru, which is about like 3 kilometers from the Chhatru campsite. So no car is able to come pick us up here at the Chhatru campsite. We were briefed about this situation by our trek leaders last evening, and that means that the Chandratal plan has been cancelled since no vehicles can cross the landslided area. And now we have to walk for like 3 kilometers and cross the 2 landslided areas and the water streams to access the road where the cars will be waiting for us. So that's the plan for today, is just walk those 3 kilometers, get to the road, get in the car and head back to Manali. Chandratal isn't possible, but it's fine. Things happen. Nothing is always in your favor. It's just the nature out here, and you just have to deal with it. So yeah, it's almost the end of the trek, and we are walking to the car, and my hand is paining holding this camera up. So I'll keep it now. Bye bye. Had to take one final photo with that cute dog who was again following us today all the way to the landslides. This area just behind me is where the first landslide has happened, and we are going to cross that and reach towards the next side. So that behind me is the second landslide, and it has washed off the entire road. It is massive, and the excavator is just cleaning it up. The second excavator has just arrived. There is no possible way to cross this stream of water that has washed off the road directly, but we'll have to climb down from one side, cross this part right here, and climb up the other side and get on top of the road here. That is the plan, and hopefully we'll be able to do it very soon. As we were waiting to cross the landslide, there was a group of female monks who were also waiting to cross the landslide, and they were handing out fresh green peas to us. These were the sweetest green peas I've had in my entire life. So I asked them if I could take a photo of them as a memory, and they agreed. They were so happy with the photo that they handed me an entire bag of green peas. I declined the request, but they insisted me to take it. My bag was already about 10 kilos with all my camera gear, and they approximately added another 3 kilos on top of it. We were about 25 of us, and we all had a stomach full of green peas as we waited for our cars to arrive. And then it was time for the final goodbyes. Farewells are always the hardest, especially when you share such experiences with other people. Being back in the civilization and being amongst so many people felt weird to me. Too much stimulus for the brain. And are you really in Manali if you don't visit the Hidimba temple? So it was early in the morning on 11th of August and I had started my bus journey from Manali to Chandigarh at 10:30 at night, and I was supposed to reach Chandigarh at 6 a.m. and then I had my flight at 11:30 that day, and I was going to return home in Mumbai in the afternoon. But at around 2:20 at night, our bus driver stopped at a dhaba and said that we had a half an hour to just freshen up and have dinner if anyone wanted to. So the bus stopped there for half an hour and then we again resumed our journey at 2:50 at night. And by the way, I was sleeping the entire time. I just got off at 2:20 just to freshen up. So at around 3:20, I woke up only to find that our bus was stuck in a traffic jam and there were people entering our bus from the outside and they were standing in a line in the aisle. And I was wondering, what had happened. But I was half asleep and it was raining heavily outside. And I heard a few people say in the chaos that another bus had stopped working. That's why they had come in our bus. So I thought maybe, we'll have to just move ahead a little and we'll drop them and we'll continue our journey from there on. But boy, I was completely wrong about that. A driver then started taking our bus in reverse and he took that bus in reverse for about 5 minutes and then he turned behind and he halted at a dhaba and he just switched off his engine. He got out of the bus. Our bus was completely at standstill at that dhaba, and now was the time when I started to feel scared, like something was off. So it was 4 in the morning and I was supposed to reach Chandigarh at 6 a.m. So I opened Google Maps to check where I was, and when I entered the location, I was completely shocked. I was 5.5 hours away from Chandigarh, where I should have been like 2 hours away from Chandigarh. I was completely stuck and there was no way out of it. Even if I had started at that moment, we would have reached Chandigarh at 9:30 and my flight was at 11:30. So I was sure that I'm gonna miss my flight now. So obviously I couldn't do anything about it, and worrying was the last thing that I wanted to do in such a situation where nothing was in my control. So I just slept and I woke up at 6:30 and we were still there and I was sure that my flight was gone. So then I just bombarded our driver and the other people around him with a ton of questions on what was the situation and what was happening at that time. So I got to know that there had been multiple landslides on the way and the landslides had completely covered the road and there was no moving forward. The roads were completely blocked and it would take a couple of hours for the roads to be cleared up. And our driver also said that, there have been incidences where the landslides have not been cleared up for like 2 or 3 days. And that statement just hit me like a truck. I couldn't imagine myself being stranded for like 3 to 4 days. That was just completely scary for me. Nothing like this had happened to me before and I had never missed my flight as well. So this was all new for me, which made it somewhat scary. And all of this was happening on my first solo trip ever. So, it was not the greatest time to be, experiencing that. But again, it makes for some great travel stories now. So luckily, since our driver had stopped at a dhaba, I had a great breakfast. And I was fortunate for that driver that he took the right decision of reversing our bus and bringing it back at the dhaba so that at least we would have food if we were stuck. I also met 3 women on the bus who were hiking the Hampta Pass Trail with India Hikes on 2 separate groups. So it was nice in a time like this when we were stuck to have someone to talk to, and especially since they had done the same hike, the Hampta Pass Trail. It was nice to talk to them about their experiences, share stories from each of our hikes, and it did help us pass our time when we were stuck and completely helpless. Then we got back into our bus at 12 in the afternoon and our bus would have traveled like for 2 kilometers in the next 4 hours. And finally, after being stuck in the bus for 12 hours, it started moving at 4 in the evening and I could see for about 5 or 6 kilometers on the other side that the vehicles were just lined up, and I just felt so grateful at that moment that our driver decided to stop at the dhaba. I couldn't imagine the condition of these people who were just stuck in the middle of the road. It was a scary experience, but yeah, I finally made it to Chandigarh at 10:30 at night. It just sounds so silly that what was supposed to be an 8-hour drive turned out to be a 24-hour journey from Manali to Chandigarh. I missed my flight, got stuck in the bus for 12 hours. It was a completely crazy experience. Finally, at 10:30 at night, I went to my hotel, had some beautiful dinner and went to bed at around 11:30. And that was the end of a very tiring and a very uncertain and scary travel experience that I've never ever experienced before. The next morning at 9:30 a.m., I went to the airport, and this time I didn't miss my flight. It was all nice and sunny and it was time to say goodbye to this wonderful trip. But as I was starting to get close to Mumbai in the air, the weather was terrible and our flight had a lot of turbulence, and we could even see the rain with our eyes as the flight was moving forward, cutting through the rain clouds. And as we got near to the landing, I just started recording a video of the landing, thinking it will be a nice and fun video. But then as the plane came close to landing, the rear wheels touched the ground, but I was still inclined at an upward angle and I was waiting for the nose to come down, but it never came down. The plane took off again from that spot in the air because the nose never touched the ground. A pilot made a wraparound and then said on the comms that since the winds were coming directly from the front of the airplane, the nose of the plane couldn't come down and he couldn't land it, so he had to again take it off from there and make a U-turn and just make a second landing. Fortunately, the second landing did happen perfectly. What an experience it was again. Just 24 hours ago, I was stuck in the bus in the middle of nowhere, and 24 hours later, my plane has such a scary landing. What are the odds of that happening? So that's at the end of this video. Overall, my first solo trip was quite an eventful one, and I absolutely loved it. That feeling of being in a completely remote place, away from the people, where it's just nature around you. I cannot articulate that feeling in words. It is unexplainable. And I'm 100% convinced now that you cannot find such landscapes and views just by driving up to that place. For experiencing such beauties of Mother Nature, you have to hike on foot for several days and then you'll be rewarded with landscapes that not many people get to witness. The journey, the people, and the memories that I've made on this trip are now completely unforgettable to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. It actually makes a difference. Subscribe if you're new here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.